Welcome back! Podcast
What's up, guys?
number 21.
Our double-digit subscribers out there. We're sitting at 33, Jerry.
We should stop right there. That's
I know you don't want him.
That's his age.
33 and a half. We need a half.
We need a half of a subscriber.
Half subscription.
Have we gotten any messages from subscribers lately?
Not really. So I think people got thrown off because we took time off. And so I got to pump out some shorts this week here, you know. So.
Well, we explained last week. Did we get any input with the kids?
Not really. No, I don't.
Dude, I thought that would have been a fan favorite having the kids on here.
A couple people liked it, but no one really commented on it.
You think they were a little worried to throw some shade at your kids?
Maybe. Dude, my kids used the iPad this weekend, and now it's not connecting to the internet. I also got home and my power had went out. So, you ever leave anything on the stove before?
No, but my brother-in-law left the stove on. What did you do?
I remember you telling that story. Dude,
What'd you leave on the stove?
I've just done it before.
Was it the linseed oil?
Look at this spoon.
Dude, you should have been stirring up linseed oil.
I should have tried to light my house on fire.
Okay, so
money.
If they're... because I would go to court and say, listen, this guy is very prone to accidents. I'm not surprised he burned his house to the ground. In fact, I'm surprised he didn't do it sooner. Do you think that would be fair enough? You feel like the judge would hear me out on that?
I don't think so. I think that if you're making a podcast talking about burning down your house for insurance money, you're pretty much screwed at that point. Like, they're never going to be like, it must have been an accident.
I would just tell them to go back through all of the episodes and listen to all of the accidents you've had throughout your life.
You watch this guy and you tell me that he's totally capable.
He doesn't even know how to burn his house down.
Sometimes you meet people and you're like, wow, you drove a car here. That's impressive.
Yes.
That's how the judge would feel about me. Like, wow. So... JRich and Jerry, we're here with you. Trail Whispers podcast on a Thursday afternoon. Fun stories, chiropractic care. Life's an open book, so sit back in your chair. We're walking down the trail of life, so come along. With Trail Whispers podcast, you can't go wrong. I don't think we did get any comments on that one. I didn't check the Spotify. We've been having like equal views on Spotify. No comments on there. No comments. But it's all good.
Well, that's a bummer. Hopefully the listeners are back and they can get used to the week in, week out recording.
We're here for you guys.
We're here for you.
We're really here for us. I was telling a friend tonight that, we have a good time. And I told my buddy at church, I was just like, yeah, Jeremy usually grills something or smokes something on the smoker. We shoot hoops for a little bit, and then we do the pod. So it's like...
That's it.
It's a good time.
We keep it simple.
Kids know what's going to happen. It's good. So.
My kids as well. Sophia was like... I was tucking them into bed, and she's like, night, love you. She's like, have fun on the podcast. Don't forget to record it. I was like, thanks, kiddo, because I told them about that.
Yeah.
So they were, they know it's
sweet girl.
Out. She's a sweet little girl. She's
looking out.
She's looking out for us.
Now I'm paranoid that I'm not recording, so let me jump up here. So, again, viewers, we're doing all this on the old cell phone, so it says it's recording. We'll see.
Right. We'll see what happens. I sent you a couple things.
I don't have it.
Remember I texted them to you over the last week. I've sent you some stuff. The one was the one headline. Do you remember this? The Maslin Cruise-In is back with crowds after 5 years off. So they took off 5 years
for
COVID to do the Maslin Drive-In. And you've probably been to that at some point or another.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, when I used to work at McDonald's downtown, that was a wild experience.
So my question is, do you feel like 5 years is enough time? Or do you think the virus is still rampant and we should maybe just take off like a decade?
Look, you've been closed for 5 years. Just end it. Like, is someone out there saying, like, let's bring this back?
I know.
I don't know. I don't think so, but...
I appreciate Maslin's leadership in that.
Yeah, I don't know who the mayor is over there anymore. But I forget who I was talking to about Maslin this week. Oh, it was someone from work, a customer, and I was talking about, he had mentioned Maslin. I was like, no way. You grew up in Maslin? He's like, yeah. And I was like, hey, City of Champions. He's like, yeah, moved there in 62, went to Washington High School. I was like, good for you.
Really? So he's an official champion.
He's a real champion, yeah. So.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, but they're making it happen. So.
Yeah, and I sent you that other one. Did you want to pull that up? I just thought that'd be a fun thing.
I can't because I don't have internet right now. Like I said,
really?
I don't. I think I need to reboot my router.
I wanted you...
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I figured it would be good for you to read. Let me pull this up here real quick. There you go. I want you to read that.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's a Dove soap ad.
It's the Crown Act is what it's called.
Creating a respectful and open world for natural hair. The official campaign of the Crown Act led by Crown Coalition. I feel discriminated against.
I do too.
Yeah, we're both bald men. Me from age 11, you from what, like 35? How old were you when you shaved it?
I think I shaved it 29 maybe.
No.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years?
It's been 10 years.
Dude, I didn't realize that.
Just my look now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it looks great. So, I
think read down a little bit further. It's funny.
We're ending hair discrimination. The Crown Act was created in 2019 by Dove and the Crown Coalition in partnership with State Senator Holly J. Mitchell of California, of course, to ensure protection against discrimination based on race-based hairstyles by extending statutory protection to hair texture and protective styles such as braid, locks, twists, knots in the workplace and public schools. Are you not allowed to have braids in public schools?
This was all news to me.
I don't think this is real. I think they're making something.
I know.
Well, progress has been made. Race-based hair discrimination? They're just doing this for marketing at this point. Remains a systematic problem in the workplace. Hiring practices. So someone is looking across the table and saying, we would have got you
meet all the qualifications. However,
you got dreadlocks and
you're bald.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's just like hiring practices, daily workplace interactions. Is anyone really interacting differently with anyone based on their hairstyle? Maybe if they have poor hygiene or something, I could see that. Like if you never wash your hair.
Yeah, maybe bugs
someone
crawling out of it.
Interacts with you differently.
Just, you know what?
Yeah.
There's ticks in there.
But if you're bald or if you've got long hair, short hair, I don't know, disproportionately impacting. Oh my goodness! To bring awareness,
we get some numbers down there, which is good.
I don't feel comfortable reading these. I can't believe this is just like a Dove soap ad.
Oh yeah, Dove soap is getting so much publicity by sponsoring this.
1.5 times more likely to be sent home from a workplace because of their hair? Who is coming into the office and being like, Tiffany, you're doing a great job, but it's your hairstyle. We need you to go home and comb that out. No one is saying that.
I know.
80%. I have to change my hair from its natural state to fit in at the office. That is so untrue.
You worked in a corporate office.
Did
you ever run into that?
No. There was nothing in the handbook about that.
Nobody ever got sent home because of their hair.
No.
Or lack of it.
Never.
I'm thinking we should go after them because they don't mention bald.
That's true.
I feel discriminated against because of this.
Did you sign it? There's a thing here that says I'll sign it.
No, but I think we should sign it.
I think you should too. They've got 521,313 signatures.
Yeah. Yeah. It's impressive.
Yeah, you sign this later. It's going to ask for some personal information, phone number. Of course they want your phone number. So, that's awesome.
So, that's the Crown Act. So, if you're out there and you have not voted for the Crown Act, get on it.
I just don't think that's real. That's all.
Oh, it's real.
I'm not... Yeah. I don't know. No, I'm saying I know that article you showed me is real, but, like, to say that... I don't know. I don't necessarily want to get into it.
That's a danger zone.
Yeah, I don't want to.
That's a danger zone.
I'm just like, it's not true. This is not true.
Yeah.
But you're just saying, that's the thing that's dangerous. And, like, even with, like, a product, right? Like, so these companies put the words, like, natural flavoring. Like, that's written right here on this can. But there's nothing that governs that, whether or not that is true.
Correct.
And I think that's super dangerous because we can just say whatever we want and there's no absolute truth. And so you can just write an article about something and that is now the truth. That's just super dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. You can just say whatever you want and I don't know. You've got to have standards for truth.
Yeah, stealing is not a crime.
Well, he said it. That's his opinion. Well, that's the thing that's so twisted in our society too. Like, they're trying to defend now minor attracted persons. When it's like, I will take care of them for you. Yes. Bring them here.
Vigilante. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Not to get on that, but I had something fun that I wanted you to try.
Okay.
So I just want to tell a little story. I guess I can give a little update from my week if you're cool with that.
Go for it.
But so had the kids this past week, so it was an awesome time together, and I made them a promise. I said, if you guys are super good for Grandma on Thursday and Friday, because they've just been rambunctious all week, right? And they're just kids, I get it, but they've been giving my mom a pretty hard time, and so she was kind of cracking down on them, and I was just telling her, like, tell me if they're being bad. Like, we got to talk this out. We got to figure this out. So, addressed some things, which was good, but I told the kids, if you guys are good on Thursday and Friday for Grandma, we'll go to dinner on Friday night. And so, they're pumping this up, and then they find out there's a new movie that comes out, Inside Out 2, this new Disney movie that comes out. So they want to see this movie. And so I go online to the movie theater website, Regal Cinemas, the one someone died at down the street. For 4 tickets, it was going to cost $74.
4 tickets.
$74.
Where someone just got shot and killed.
$74.
They're still getting top dollar.
Dude, speaking of shot and killed, you see my Roomba on the couch over there?
Yeah, I saw that. Did you shoot it?
No, but I was terrified last night in the middle of the night. I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning because I just heard like banging around, and I'm like, that's not normal. Like, I'm not paranoid.
You used to be.
I used to be, legitimately, but I'm not paranoid. And so I jump out of bed and I'm like, there's banging. Like, I'm not an idiot. There's banging going on. And the Roomba just started at 3:30 in the morning to do its cleaning, just all by itself. Like, this thing's possessed. So I just flipped it over on the couch and went back to bed. But anyways, someone just died this year, $74. And so I just told the kids, because originally I was like, yeah, we'll go to the movies instead of going to dinner, because I was thinking it was going to be like $7-8 a ticket. What's the big deal? Yeah. It's fine, whatever. But $74, I was like, guys, that's just crazy. That's
almost
crazy.
$20 a ticket.
Yeah, and so I was like, so my mom sent me a link for a drive-in theater, and then I started looking up drive-in theaters, and we went to the one in Strasbourg.
Yeah.
So it's like 20 minutes away, not far. And we're there watching the movie, and Jonah like falls asleep on top of our car. He's always falling asleep. Ella does the same thing. And like, I had to get off the car. Like, I felt like the roof was starting to buckle a little bit anyways.
You were on the car too.
All 4 of us were on top of the Honda Pilot. So who knows, man? Who knows? I'm glad it's still with us. That's all. So, yeah. So Noah's there, and they have an ad that came up for Baylor's Beach. The movie's just like getting started, so they have ads coming up. Yep. And it's like, Baylor's Beach, Northeast Ohio, like beach destination or some kind of like stupid commercial that they're doing.
Just a dirty pond.
Exactly. And you're like, brand new, like, slide. And then it said clean bathrooms. And Noah said, clean bathrooms? Cap? That's cap. And I was just dying. I started losing it. Because he used the slang in such, like, the appropriate context. And he's 11, and I've just never heard him use slang before. And so I was like, this is awesome that he is like, I don't know, he must be in a gang. That's what the conclusion I could come to. He's bad-mouthing his country, sagging his pants, talking bad about his mama. And so what he's doing at school, I guess. I was just super pumped that he used that in the correct context.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So I wanted to kind of see if you knew what some of these slang terms were. Do you know what cap is? That's cap. Cap. Because that's how he said it. They're like, clean bathrooms. He's like, clean bathrooms. Cap. That's cap. Cap. Like, that's how he said it.
Okay, if I was to guess, I would be like, thinking, no way. What's it interpret to?
It means to lie about something. It means that you're lying. You're capping.
I've heard people say, like, no cap before. So it means you're lying. No lie.
Yep. So if you're saying no cap, that means you're telling the truth.
Okay.
So,
do you use these slang words or no?
I will use them sometimes when I'm with the kids or something. How about bet?
No idea.
Bet. So how this is used in context with kids is like, I'll be like, Jonah, if you do your chores, you can have an ice cream sandwich, and I'll be like, bet, and that means like.
Deal, like
I'm gonna do that, like bet on it, like that's what it means. It means okay, for sure, all right. Usually said in response to a question or statement. So, yeah, that's what it means. How about Riz? You know what Riz is?
Dude, I should know this because I feel like I knew about it a while ago. People say like that guy's got some riz.
He's got some riz.
Some
people would say I have riz. Basically, yeah.
Swag would be the older version of riz.
Yeah. No one says I have riz, by the way. Once I got mistaken for a prosthetic leg at the office, so it was only on shorts day where the employee realized that I had two functional legs. So I definitely don't have riz.
No riz, no swag.
And I'm not necessarily mad about that. How about shook?
That one I've never heard of before.
I am shook, Jeremy.
Stunned?
Basically, yeah. State of shock, surprise, or astonishment.
Okay.
How about drip?
No drip. Drip is like game. Like you've got some game. I think. I feel pretty confident that like someone that's got some game with the ladies, he's got some drip.
Someone that has game may have drip, but drip is not the game.
Okay.
Drip is jewelry or accessories. Like.
Oh, yes.
Look at that drip. Like,
yes.
He's got on a nice necklace or a nice watch or earring or something like that. So, drip. Yeah.
Dude,
Drip. How about sus?
Yeah, it's like...
Oh, that's sus.
You're suspect.
Yeah, suspect, suspicious. So, fun fact, one of the guys at work calls me Sustin. So, he was helping me do a
Dude, that's hilarious.
He was helping me do a deck plan for a friend of mine, and he put at the top, title, Sustin's friend on Baptist Drive. I was like, what an idiot.
That's awesome.
What an idiot. So, sus, yeah. Be sus. Trying to see other ones. You know, goat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, greatest of all time. You know that one. Slay.
I guess then you embarrass somebody. You just slayed them.
No, it's something you say when someone's killing it. Like, man, he can slay. Dude, look at him slay. So, yeah, I feel like that's a good amount. You didn't do too bad.
No,
you didn't know most of them, but you're also an elderly gentleman, so.
Yeah, I don't have kids in that stage either. Although I will say this, I need to get these words from my brother because he was just at camp.
Which brother? Little brother, Jared?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was at camp, and so he helps out with the junior high at our church.
Nice.
And what was the one word they were using a couple words. And it's so funny. You know how animated Jared is and how ramped up he is.
Dude, he's a blast.
What are you guys even saying? He's like, one time, they must have said it 500 times in a day. I'm like ready to kill him.
Yeah.
Like, what are you even saying?
Yep.
It had to do with like a game. What did they say? Like, it wasn't like no cap. It was, I'll ask him what they were.
Yeah.
But he was just beyond himself. Like, what are you guys even saying? And I'm like, does it make you feel old?
Yeah,
like,
dude, it does.
I just get mad at it is all that happens.
Yeah.
So
I can relate to your little brother so well because the highs are high and the lows are low in life.
Text him real quick.
Yeah, see if you respond.
He's probably up.
Give him a call.
I would, but if he's putting Daisy to bed,
okay, yeah, that's
I don't
fair.
want him to be
getting ramped up.
Well, if the phone wakes her up or gets the dogs going.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, but no, I loved working with him because we would just ride the highs and lows together, the sales highs and lows. So, such a fun guy. So they had camp for the week?
Had camp for the week.
Nice.
Yep. So that was last week.
Cool.
So, yeah, just a great time. They had a couple kids that it's cool because normally junior high boys, there's about 4 that are consistent in church week after week. There's some that just in and out, but they had like 17 junior high boys that went to camp.
That's awesome.
So they had some challenges with it, but I think overall really good. Like the work that God did. A couple kids got saved.
That's
so awesome.
Kids
just like they needed that camp. It was just really good.
Yeah.
They went to somewhere down in West Virginia.
Nice. That's cool.
So it was fun.
Yeah, camp is I love camp.
Mm-hmm.
Huge part of my life was camp, so I'm excited to go this year. The guy that runs the camp that we go to, even though I'm not helping with the youth group anymore, asked me if he was like, which week can you come to? And I was like, cool, man, teen camp. Let me go to teen camp.
Not the junior high?
No. Well, this camp has junior high and high school together, so it's grades 7 through 12.
Nice.
So they separate them out in the cabins and stuff, but yeah, it's...
Do you like the junior high cabins or senior high cabins?
I'd rather be in the senior high because I feel like junior high boys are just like in this super weird stage of like, I don't know, they're still figuring out who they are and they've got too much energy and they're just jacked up on Mountain Dew. And at least with senior high boys, they're still wanting to sleep in. They hate when you turn the lights on. It's like, all right, I can get down with that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you like to go to bed early. You like your rest.
I do.
That nighttime energy for you is probably
Yeah, I was telling a friend of mine this is like my one late night that I stay up. So usually up 11:30 or 12 o'clock tonight. So
yeah, I'll be a late one.
But it's good.
I've been pulling some late nights. I actually got to the point the other night I took some NyQuil and I was like, I need to get a good night's sleep.
Sometimes you got to.
Dude, it was so good. I think I got a good 9 hours of sleep. And I'm telling you, man, when I take NyQuil, I don't move. I literally think I woke up exactly how I went to
Your
bed.
wife probably thought you were deceased for a minute.
Dude, has been a few times where she put her finger here to make sure I was breathing.
No way.
Yeah, I was like,
Super
why would you
still.
do that? I'm peaceful when I sleep. I'm not jerking around, just relaxed.
You look dead.
I look like I'm dead. Yeah.
Dude, dead people are scary.
Dude, there's been a few times she thinks that they are scary.
I was just thinking about that. Like, you're just going to buzz over that comment? Yeah, dead people are scary.
Where she'll go to the bathroom, and I don't know if you're this way. I can go lay down in bed, and I can be lights out in a minute. I mean, I can be gone.
Clean conscience.
Clean conscious, and I think because I think when you're working, I can go for a long time, but when I stop, the battery is like, I'm ready to recharge, 100%. So I'll lay down, she'll be like, hey, I'm going to go brush my teeth. She'll go brush her teeth, go to the bathroom, probably a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and she'll come back and she thinks I'm faking. So I'll literally lay there, and I found a very peaceful thing. This is kind of like angel wings. Try this. Lay down like this.
You sleep like this? Like in a coffin?
I'll do this, just kind of like peacefully. And but sometimes I won't. And this one, several times she's come over to me, And no joke, she'll be pounding my chest. She's like, "Are you awake? Are you faking it?" And she'll literally wake me up out of a dead sleep, just like, "Get up."
She's too jumpy.
And I'm like, I was literally asleep. She's like, "I thought you were faking it." I'll go right back to bed.
Yeah.
She's
Dude.
Jumpy.
I'll tell you what. I do. This sounds really weird, but I sleep better when I tape my mouth shut. That's real, though. It's real. I saw it on Joe Rogan podcast.
Handcuffs back here to the headboard.
No. I saw this on the Joe Rogan podcast that he had with Andrew Huberman, and he was talking about sleep apnea.
I've heard that.
Because my daughter told me that I snore, and I was just like, no, I don't think I do. And she was like, "No, Daddy, you snore loud." And then like Jonah was like imitating my snore to me, and so I was like, "All right." And so I was like looking it up, and I'm like, "Man, this kind of really jacks up the quality of sleep that you get. Like you'll feel tired, and like, man, there are so many days where I'm just like, man, I'm exhausted, but I slept like 8 hours." And
it's
so
because you're snoring.
Probably. And so
is it because your brain's not getting enough oxygen?
I don't understand it all.
Okay.
But what they suggested, what Joe Rogan and Andrew Huberman said, which I trust Huberman, professor of neuroscience at Stanford University, right? Guy knows what he's talking about. And it's through his advice that I've been doing the cold shower every day since December. But if I remember, I'll do the tape. So
I have to give that a whirl sometime. I like trying new things. My wife will be freaked out. Like, what are you doing?
Well, it's a problem when you sleep with somebody because then, like, you can't talk. Like, you just kind of have to say your final words and then just be like... So my daughter wanted to, like, cuddle with me, and I was like, why's your mouth taped shut? As a 6-year-old. And I'm just, like, imagining this little girl in her mind, like... When she grows up, she's going to be like, I just remember my dad sleeping with his mouth taped shut. That's why when you asked them for stories last week, they couldn't come up with anything. I was like, I'm shocked you guys didn't just have a laundry list of embarrassing stories about me. And Noah's like, I should have thought of more. I should have wrote some down.
Maybe next time. Next time we'll prep
Next Monday? Yeah, give them
prep
just like 15 minutes of like, hey, think of a funny story to tell. Yeah, so that'll be fun. But
dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, I forget how I got on that. So yeah, sleep with your mouth taped shut. Slang words. Oh man, I was up on Lake Erie today. Beautiful day. Super hot though. It was like 95. I was just burning up. And I'm not working outside like you are, right? I mean, I'm outside meeting with people and doing that sort of thing, but I'm not like super physical labor. And so I decided to stop at this park in Euclid, and I'm glad I did. It's right on Lake Erie, so it's a beautiful view. I'm sitting on a chunk of concrete that has a rebar sticking out the side of it. Behind me is a cigar wrapper, and I'm just like blowing in the wind, and I'm like, here we are in Euclid, baby. So anyways, but the thing that amazed me is it's 95, and I saw this guy who was probably in his upper 70s with long, shaggy hair that's like bouncing as he runs. And he's carrying a huge rock like a football. This rock probably weighed like 25 pounds. And he's just like moving with this rock like this. And I'm like...
Running with it.
And I'm like, you're like 78. You're not in good shape. You look homeless. It's 95 degrees outside. What the heck is going on? So... It was weird.
You're sure it was a rock?
100%. I got close. I like walked up behind him a little bit to see what was going on. I almost said something, but I didn't because I don't know this guy or like I'm in a different part of town.
If he's running in 95 degrees with
a rock,
something's not going on upstairs.
I didn't. Yeah. Well, it's like a few weeks ago I was walking on a path and geese are crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was just like walking and these geese, a big pile of geese there, and I'm like this is ridiculous. This is a walking path, right? Yeah. Like you got the pond, you got the grass. Yeah. Let me have the path, and don't block me. Don't block me, and don't crap all over the path. I'm walking here, okay? Like that was my mindset, and so I'm just like I'm just gonna walk, and so I'm just walking. It's probably 2:00 in the afternoon, and I'm just gonna walk through the geese. And all of a sudden, this goose like squares up with me.
Oh yeah.
And starts hissing at me. And so I I like lunged at and like jumped at it, and then I went to run backwards, and I turned around and there's an old lady standing there, dying laughing, and she was just busting up laughing. I was like, oh, sorry, I almost hit you. And she was like, I was like, you weren't filming that, were you? She's like, oh no, I don't have my phone on me, honey. And I was like, she's like, that was funny though, that was really funny. So I'm like, I've been getting all these interesting interactions at parks, so it's been fun.
Dude, that's hilarious. Yeah, geese are an interesting bird. Apparently, they're good protectors. My brother and sister-in-law, they have some on their farm. And they got some little geese because, they're just like a bird that protects everything.
But not Canadian geese, though.
No,
right?
They got a different kind. Canadian geese, there's just something about them. I feel like they just feel like they own society. They're almost like a cat. Like a cat can walk around the house like, this is my place. If I want to, I'll just pee on the couch.
I'm not a cat guy.
And, there's certain animals, when they have that entitlement kind of an attitude, a goose is kind of entitled. I got the path, get away from here.
Yeah.
You just want to take them to Cleveland. Take them to the zoo. relocate them.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not a cat guy. Like, the concept, and I'm sorry for all the viewers out there that are, but like, concept of a litter box in my house, and this thing is like scratching at this litter box and then walking all over me and all over my furniture and all over my table, that's just gross to me. I would have a dog if I was married and the lady wanted a dog. I would do a dog, but I'm not doing a cat. I just can't.
It's just...
Watch me get a cat one day and be like, look, here's my cat, Jerry.
5
mittens. Yeah. 5 cats.
It could be this cat that claws it down at everything and is just destructive.
It's the worst cat ever. My son's got goldfish. We have chickens. You have... I just have 2, excuse me. But...
Yeah, we just had the first of another batch of 44 hatch. So we're going to have more coming. We just had 26 hatch.
I just don't think...
About that?
Yeah, you did. I'm just thinking, like, do I want more? Or do I just kind of end it with these ones?
We'll hook you guys up.
I know you will, but is that what I want? Is this who I am?
When you go to buy eggs again, you're going to be like...
I don't eat as much eggs as I need to, first of all.
Yeah.
I need to make them for dinner, like, every night or something.
Dude, it's so good. Every time I eat I know it just sounds crazy, but it's just natural eggs. Scrambled eggs are unbelievable.
Yeah. What are you cooking them in? Bacon grease?
Typically just butter.
Okay.
Yeah, because normally I'm always doing bacon on the smoker.
That's right.
So, yeah.
Smoked bacon. It's good. I actually just got a hold of my bacon contact this week to get some more bacon in. He put the order in today.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I just said, can you still get the bacon? And he just said, I'll put the order in Monday. And I said, God bless.
That's the
interaction.
The interaction.
And then sometime this week he'll text me and say, I got your bacon.
He won't just show up on the door?
No. He'll text me and then I'll go over to his house on like a Sunday night, hang out for a little bit.
Middle of the night, kind of slip.
No, after church. I go over after church and I'll hang out with him for a little bit. We'll just chit chat about life and what's going on. Usually he's watching like football or basketball or something.
Dude, that's awesome though.
Playing Madden. And we'll just talk for a few minutes, grab some bacon, exchange dollars, and leave.
Does he ever feel like he should give you bacon for free after what he did to your guest bedroom? Or
No. It doesn't. No. I don't bring it up either because it's like, hey, it's in the past at this point, and I don't want to ruin this bacon relationship.
Yeah.
No one else can really say that they have this. So.
No, it's a good connection you have.
People ask me about it too, like, can you see if you can get some for me? And I'm like, I don't think he works there anymore. Like, I'm just kidding when I say that. I'm like, I'm just kidding, but I don't think he can. Yeah. Because it's like, you don't want to exhaust.
No, you don't.
You got to be gentle, you know?
Yeah.
My sister had these babies, and she brings them home, and watching her son with these babies is, like, hilarious. So I was talking to her about it today, and he was like, she just said, Hunter loves his brother and sister so hard because he'll just like try to just like
a bear hug.
Get in there and hug them, and
dude,
he's so cute because he's like, baby, another one, like, and then she was telling me how he counts, and he'll be like 1, 2, 5. She's like, no, that's not right, but
that's
just
awesome.
Cute. So
how are they doing?
Good. She got released from the hospital, and then they were talking about keeping them for longer, but they ended up letting them all out. I think it was Saturday night. So
this past Saturday night?
I guess her son did really good, taking bottles and everything, and
nice.
They decided just to let him go. So she's been at home. I think she's just getting used to the new normal.
Yeah.
And I just told her, like, yeah, it's going to be hard, but you'll get used to it, and you'll find a new way of doing things, and whatever.
So, and then someone's going to have a single baby, and we'll be telling her sometime about how difficult it is. And she'll be like,
I did it with two. Yeah,
you
can always hold that over now.
Yeah, that's true. That's a whole different world.
Because because like the natural progression is, you have your first child, and you have your second child, and then you have your third child. But usually by the time you have your third child, your first child is like 4, your second child is like 2, and then you bring home a newborn. Yeah. And so you can switch from playing man-to-man to zone pretty easily. Yeah. Right? Like you're like, because that's how it was. I'd be like, I'll take the boys. So they were 3 and 5. And it's like, all right, especially the 5-year-old, he can at least get dressed by himself. If I set these clothes out and be like, Noah, put these clothes on. Yeah. Like he can handle that. But with
two babies.
Two babies.
2 babies, and then how old is the other one?
2. Yeah. That's rough. So Rebecca, if you're watching, God bless.
God bless. Get some coffee and just power up.
Yeah. When did you start drinking black coffee?
So I used to always drink coffee with cream and sugar. I think because my grandpa always drank it that way. But what I realized is I was always drinking bad coffee.
Okay.
And I was dating someone who drank black coffee, and I was like, how is this girl able to drink black coffee and I drink cream and sugar? So
were you saying like this woman cannot be stronger than me?
I was impressed. I'm like, black coffee? And she's like, yeah, it's just, you'll get used to like the taste of it if you have good coffee. Prior to that time in my life, I'd never had like a good like bean. I always
you just having like Maxwell House or
Folgers coffee.
Yeah.
So you have to doctor it up. So then when I started buying good coffee, all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, this you can actually taste, whatever those notes are, blueberry tones or chocolate or caramel or whatever the tones are in that coffee. And then it was like I enjoyed that aspect of it. So now my way of knowing if it's good coffee is if you let a cup go cold and you drink it and it's still really good, it's good coffee.
Really?
The garbage coffee, yeah, because the notes will actually come through stronger. So
do you like the iced coffee? So your wife and I like the same iced coffee.
Yeah.
Is that a good coffee, quality wise?
I mean, I've had a friend of mine who's got a roaster. He does his own roasting. I've tried his iced coffee before. I've tried his nitro as well. And I was impressed with nitro. I was a little bit like, I don't know if I need this like nitrous infused coffee. Dude, it is a really good cup of cold coffee. And the iced coffee, I had it just plain. He's got it where I think it might be like cookie dough or cookie batter or something like that is the flavoring. There's no sugar, no anything. It's just like, I don't know if it's infused or how they do it. I loved it. I thought it was good. So I don't necessarily like, even on a hot day like today, if someone said, hey, you want something to drink? I'll take a cup of coffee. Hot black coffee.
Really?
I know. Everybody thinks they're like, goodness. You're weird. Like, what are you doing? It's 90 degrees. And I'm like, this hits the spot.
Yeah. That's wild.
Yeah.
Good for you, man.
So.
Yeah.
Do you think you could ever go black?
I'm not against trying to get to that point, but I think it would have to be over time and with the right coffee, I guess.
Yeah.
Because right now I can do just half and half in coffee and I can be okay.
Yeah.
And so like currently I have these stevia, it's like a vanilla flavored stevia drop. So it's like an all natural extract.
Yeah, there's like no sugars and stuff. Yep.
So I do that with a little half and half, and that's how I drink it. So.
Yeah, you just have to. Your bean game has to be strong. You got some good beans.
I still know that I'm just not a bean game guy. Yeah. So no. So.
Well, and I think too, there's certain things like, and we've talked about this. we've all been cheap at some point in our life. Before I would go back to buying bad coffee, a lot of other things would have to change. I would change a lot of other things first. I'd shut off our hot water heater. I would do some things before. If I said I need to be able to spend an additional $8 on this good bag of beans, I'll cut somewhere else all day.
It's admirable. Are you still fasting?
Still fasting.
Nice. I've been getting back into it. I gotten some compliments from people at work, some guys at work, when I was doing fasting. And like my one buddy was like, dude, looking skinny. And it feels good, obviously, A, to be skinny, and B, to have someone recognize that. But then I just fell off the wagon so hard. And, so I'm like, I'm going to get back into this.
Well, because your secret was doing the soup or the broth.
Yeah, I haven't even been doing that. I didn't do that this week, but instead I'm just putting some... I ran out of the electrolyte drops, so I'm just putting some salt in my drink, in my water. So
it's funny because, even sometimes the guys are like, how on earth are you going all day without eating food? I'm like, I just feel good.
You can push through. Once I get to like 12 o'clock, if I can get through that mental barrier, I'll be fine. And then usually that will take me to like 3 or 4.
Yep.
And then tonight, I had something going on, and so I didn't eat until 8 o'clock, and then you brought chicken wings over, and so... Yeah.
Smashed on some wings.
That was awesome.
Dude, what'd you think? First time.
Those were good wings.
Dude,
Real
we need
chicken.
to get them as a sponsor. Galuchas, if you're listening, please.
There's literally no way.
Please, they don't need our sponsorship. They're doing just well.
Yeah.
But dude, they are phenomenal. If you
really
never
good
had
wings.
Galuchas, the pizza I had, I feel like a couple years ago, was phenomenal. The wings are amazing. Best chicken tenders anywhere. And I mean, like, I'll throw them up against Chick-fil-A's, Raising Cane's.
I like Cane's
any other
chicken
place.
tenders.
Cane's are different, but dude, if you had these, we're talking like, dude, they're just, it's good.
Next level, huh?
So good.
Yeah.
And they're so cool, like, from a shop, like a small local business, like when you go and you get, like, let's say, if I go to Cane's, I'll order us a 25 count.
That's an insane amount of chicken. But
it's a lot of chicken.
I get it.
And so that's for the family.
Yeah.
So we're not eating anything else, it's just chicken. So, but we can go to Galuchas, it's a small family-owned business, and I'll say, hey, we want to get, 3 of your 8 or 9 count. It's 8 or 9 is what they do. I guarantee you there's been a few times we open up the boxes and I'm like, I think we have 40 chicken tenders. They just kind of, end of the night, just add some extra stuff.
Yeah.
It's Jeremy. They already know the order. As soon as I place the order, all right, Jeremy, it'll be about 25 minutes. And I'm like, cool, sounds good, Gail. See you then.
You'll just call them up and be like,
she knows people by the order.
Can I have 25 chicken tenders?
And she knows. She knows who it is. Dude, it's so good.
That's just an insane order.
You don't get
like,
that
who
from
orders 25 chicken tenders?
Yeah. No, yeah, we do.
That's wild.
So
good for you guys, I guess.
I mean, you've seen my kids.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about my kids because it's like we'll roll up, and we'll need to get something fast, and like, so we'll roll up to wherever, and they all want something different.
Yeah.
It's like, I want a breakfast burrito. I want a cheeseburger. I want chicken nuggets. I want this. I want that. And it's just like, if I just said like, hey guys, here's a container of 25 chicken tenders, eat up, that would go over like a lead balloon. You know what I mean? And so
I think it's because I don't give an
that's the thing.
I don't give any options. It's either this or you can eat whatever's in the house. We're doing this as a special dinner tonight.
Yeah.
And if you don't want it, you can be unthankful for it. But you'll go to bed hungry.
Yeah.
No sympathy.
Eat the chicken tenders
Eat the
or
chicken
else.
tenders.
There's 25 of them
There's
here.
There's 25 of them.
And what's your wife say to this? She cool
loves
with it?
them. Oh, all day.
Is there sauce with them that she's dipping them in? Or
you can get barbecue, or you can get garlic parm, or you can get their hot.
Mm-hmm. What does she usually go for?
A mix, barbecue, garlic parm.
That's a good mix.
It's a good mix.
It is, yeah.
Their garlic parm is...
I don't go hot too much. Sometimes I will, but
I'll get their hot sometime. What I'll do is another time we'll do their tenders, and we'll get all 3 of those sauces, and you can taste them and give us a rating.
Mix and match.
Mix and match.
You ever seen Napoleon Dynamite?
I have, but it's been a while.
Uncle Rico's in the store with Napoleon, and Napoleon comes up with a pack of markers because he's like freaking 18 years old, and he hands his uncle this pack of markers to put in the cart, and he's like, 24 pack? I said the 12 pack. You're just going to have to mix and match. And then they get up to the front register, and Uncle Rico's like, you know we can't afford the fun pack. Put it back. Get some Pampers for you and your brother while you're at it.
Dude, I just remember last time I saw a clip from that was when you showed us Uncle Rico with the Tupperware sale.
Yeah, that's my sales motivation. I still use that, and I'll like if anyone new joins the team, I'm like, this is our strategy. You need to watch this. It's just iconic. I don't know. It's just an iconic movie.
It's so funny.
Yeah, and for me, that movie was so popular my junior year of high school, so back in 2007, I think. So it was just, I had a shirt that said vote for Pedro on it.
I remember that.
You remember that from back in the day? Yeah.
Dude, is it me, or do you feel like we got to experience some of the best times of comedy type of
cinematic
movies?
Yes.
I feel like there's an era from sometime in the 90's, 2000s, 2010s.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's some funny ones. Like, I've seen some funny ones, but I felt like, by and large, it was like they were rolling over.
And they were generally clean.
Yes.
Like, when you're watching Dumb and Dumber, there might be a few things where you're just But in general, you're like, this is hilarious. This is funny.
Yeah.
And I always think of, what's that movie? Happy Gilmore. Remember that? And Ben Stiller in that, and he's like, attention everyone, turn up your volumes. Arts and crafts time's been extended by 4 hours today. And the old lady's like, my fingers hurt. And he's like, what's that, dear? My fingers hurt. He's like, well, now your back's going to hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty. Anyone else's fingers hurt? And like his grandma like sticks her head down and starts sewing. Like, yeah.
Dude, yeah, it's
just like stuff like that where it's like, that is hilarious. And like even with TV shows too. Like I was just I was talking to someone about The Office, and they're like, yeah, I've never seen it. And I was just like, dude, you are missing out.
Do you know during COVID that thing had like a resurrection?
Yeah.
I remember.
I'm not surprised.
I remember I read the book. You need to read it. I've got it. It's the book on The Office.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool because it was Kevin and I feel like the producer and a few other people that had a hand in writing it. But they were talking about the statistics of like the hours watched on Netflix and whatever
Peacock probably.
And any other platforms. It was unreal. I think it was the most watched show, if I remember correctly. But it was like all of a sudden there's like this, it was like a new generation of people learning about The Office that had like, 10, 11-year-olds that were too young when it first came out.
And dude, it is so funny, but it is also like you could not make that show today.
Oh, everybody would be offended.
No way.
Everybody.
Yeah. So it is just so funny. Like, yeah. Most people have seen like a few different scenes from it, but dude, it is so worth watching.
I know. My wife had not watched it, and we started watching. I feel like it may have been a couple years back. And it's funny because at first she did not like Dwight. And now typically my wife, this is her MO. She kind of, it seems like the thing she's against or hesitant on, she becomes the biggest fan of.
Interesting.
Which I think you're probably similar.
Yeah,
in that way,
I can be.
But for her, she's like, she didn't like Dwight. She wasn't sure on The Office. Loved it.
Yeah,
our kids, we let our kids watch it with us. Maybe shouldn't. There's probably a few.
They do times. Watch it with you or don't?
They did. So like Sophia loved watching The Office. I think she just liked the fact that we'd all watch it together.
Sure.
And then it was like, we're cracking jokes.
Yeah, most of the stuff in there is fine. There might be a few episodes where you're like, hey, let's fast forward through some things.
Yeah.
Which is good, right? To like shield our kids from things, but yeah. That's hilarious. I love Parks and Rec too.
Yep.
Same kind of feel. It's not the same, but dude, the characters. Jean-Ralphio from Parks and Rec. What's up, Tommy? like that guy. Like, I'll go, sometimes if I'm like feeling down or something, I'll go on YouTube and I'll just watch him I'll just watch every clip of him. And someone made a montage and it's like 20 minutes of all of his scenes. And they're just so stupid.
So
the things he says are so dumb. The nicknames he called. He's in Ron Swanson's office doing an interview. Like, it's just ridiculous. So
yeah,
we definitely got to witness.
It was a golden age. It truly was a golden age of TV. And I feel like even like you look back at Saturday Night Live, that was at its peak. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of those people were making those movies as well. So it was like that time where there's not a political correctness where people were so paranoid and like, oh, we have to have these types of people in to fit this whatever.
And you also didn't have the network like picking a side, which I think is what happens today. Is like, hey, it's clear, they're on this side with this agenda or whatever, and it's like, look, I don't want to bring that into comedy. I just want to laugh. If it's funny, I want it to be funny. That's why it was funny with Will Ferrell in there with more cowbell, because it's just so stupid. It's hilarious, and it's not about anything else other than this guy in a belly shirt getting told to hit the cowbell harder. Guys, what was that guy's name? Christopher Walken. And he's like, I put on my pants one day at a time, just like you do, or one leg at a time. And then he said, except for when I have my pants on, I make gold records. I need more cowbell. And it's just like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. It's just like, oh my goodness. Some of it's just so iconic.
So good.
Yeah. So
yeah, and that's
kids today are missing out.
They are. But I think that's where it's up to us to show them some of this stuff. Like, I don't think there's a kid out there today that would not love Napoleon Dynamite.
That's the thing. My kids watch it.
Yeah.
And like within the first 5 minutes, like my 11-year-old is like looking over at me like, cannot believe that this is like,
oh yeah.
He just is like looking at me to like test like, is this like what the heck is going on right now? Like, this guy gets an action figure out of his trapper keeper and ties it to a string and throws it out the window of the school bus, and it's just like, yeah, this is the movie. This is pretty much the whole movie. This is what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to the Goodwill and find a suit and ask a girl to the dance, and it's just stupid.
It's 100% stupid.
But it's just like, man, that is fun. That's fun stuff. So
golden age.
Yeah,
the golden age.
We have to teach our kids a lot, and there's a pressure in that, Like, we want to teach them the right ways of life, but then we also, like, you want them just to be fun people.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of fun, we had fun on Saturday, and we just went out to like a local orchard that was having like a coffee truck and a flower truck.
Strawberry Fest. Is that where you went?
Yeah. Okay. Out there in Rittman.
I don't know. They move it around, I think.
Yeah. So we went there, which was fun, and dude, there's a vendor that was selling cotton candy for $1 a pop.
Wow.
$3, and I'm out with the kids and they're set.
I'd like to thank Joe Biden's economy for that, Jerry.
I think it's
booming.
I think so. I think he may have just supplemented them with some funds.
Yeah.
But it was cool. So we went there, and we went to this park, and it was such a cool idea. It kind of inspired me to think about, okay, should we do this? I mean, it can be done. But this church was set up at the park, and they had a sign for VBS, and they had just people from their church hanging out, playing different games, doing stuff, and then some of the little kids were passing out like a VBS invitation, and on the back you could scan the QR code. And it was cool because it was just a very organic way of like engaging people in conversation. Kids going to kids, some of these adults, just whatever. So it was a really cool approach of like, hey, VBS is in 2 weeks.
Right.
Let's be out in the community and reach the community, which I thought was cool. But it was funny because we were sitting on the park bench, and my wife was talking with the ladies from the church, and I was just sitting there, and then they came over later, and this other lady had come in on conversation, and she's like, oh, she's like, I already invited them. They live in Jackson. And I was like, I looked at my wife like, what? And she's like, I said, no. We do not live in Jackson. So, of course, the conversation goes on. And,
Yep.
you know, because you and I both know this. And I've told my wife this. I said, in our profession, there is one area in all of Northeast Ohio that will clarify we live in Jackson.
I just had someone do
Township.
this. Yes. Yeah.
So your mailing address is Maslin. It's Maslin, but it's Jackson Township.
It's not. Yeah.
It's the only place you can go up to the higher ends of like Moreland Hills. They don't have to tell you they live in this, thing. They're just content in who they are.
Right.
Jackson people are the only people, and they're cheap. They're cheapskates. They think they have money. They're cheap. So I said, can you please describe to me how do you describe to people where we live? Because we live in North Lawrence.
Yeah.
We live in Maslin, Tuslaw. I mean, those are all easy for people in this general area to know where we live.
Yeah.
So she did a little recording for me, and I wanted to play it for
is she okay with this?
Oh, I told her everything's on the podcast.
Yeah, cool. Put it next to the mic.
Sure.
It's recording.
All right. So here we are in Worcester, and we had some sweet ladies come up to us and invite us to VBS at their church, and they were asking where we're from. And babe, you want to let the listeners know where you identify?
I said Jackson Township.
So these ladies thought we were elitists from Jackson, and so then you started explain to the listeners when you're talking to people how you identify our location.
I say we're in North Lawrence, 2 minutes outside of Jackson Township.
That message said the Jackson Township border.
That way they know we're close. That way we know we're country but classy because we're right outside of
I love it. Fabric, it runs deep.
I mean,
Gosh!
Is that not unbelievable? I have to keep that.
Dude, you need to save that forever. You gotta play that at her funeral.
Forever. Yeah, I mean, literally. So, I mean...
That goes on the tombstone. We were talking earlier before we recorded about things going on the tombstone. It's gotta be...
2 minutes outside of Jackson.
That way they know we're classy, but we live in the country.
So she literally is, she's talking to these people for her business, like, hey, where are you located? Oh, we're here 2 minutes outside of Jackson. I'm like, I never identify with Jackson. Like, we're on 21, we're close to Ernie's, Tuslaw High School. I mean, those are all landmarks that most people in these areas know, like, oh, okay, I know about where you're at.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with Jackson Township.
No, not at all.
Of course, we can go across 21, we can be there.
Right.
It's kind of a little bit of the trashy edge of Jackson.
It really is, yeah. So that road's kind of windy back in there.
It's windy, the houses are shady, a lot of probably meth labs going on.
That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm like, it's just say you live on the right side of 21, like the clean side of it.
I mean, you could even say you're at 40 Corners. There's that nice church, 40 Corners Church right there, right? That's
there.
a really nice church building.
Of landmarks. So
it's like,
maybe you're very good with marketing and words. So maybe you could help with her marketing to help her to identify, hey people, here's where I live. And it's in a way that doesn't make her feel like she's a country bumpkin.
Yeah. Well, she shouldn't feel like a country bumpkin. Like, what you have is awesome. Like, you have like 6 acres. You've got all these chickens. You've got a sweet swimming pool. You're turning your pole barn into a pool barn to do swimming certifications for babies. Like, this is awesome.
It's awesome.
So, like, the fact that you feel like less than people in Jackson just shows you that you've been indoctrinated your whole life by these people, and it's totally false. It's like, because I encounter the same thing. We have a Maslin mailing address, but it is Jackson Township. Who cares? I don't care. I don't care. Like, it's not crossing my mind. When someone says Maslin, Ohio, I'm not like Maslin, like Perry, Jackson, Maslin City, North Lawrence. Like, there's so many different areas. Same thing with Canton. You could be like, are we talking like downtown by the bus station? Are we talking like Glen Oak, Canton? Are we talking McKinley? Are we talking like near Hoover? What are we like? I don't care. Like,
I don't care either.
I'm not looking at someone and saying, I'm going to judge you based on the city that you say you're from. I don't know.
There's two people groups that and a good friend of mine, he's getting married this year. His fiance is a North Canton graduate.
Okay.
Hoover and Jackson people. And Greene is kind of getting this way a little bit because they've always been Jackson's little brother, so to speak. But, Greene's up and coming. But Hoover, North Canton people, and Jackson people are the only two areas that I feel like it's elitist. Because I was talking with my friend Mike, and I was like, he's like, yeah, we live in Plain Township, but my wife always tells people we're right by Gervasi, because Gervasi is in North Canton. It's an identifier.
Yeah.
She's from North Canton.
Yeah.
So she really struggles with...
So silly.
Outside, like Plain was probably the ghetto to the people in North Canton. And I'm like, I technically grew up in Jackson Township. I don't identify, and of course my wife's like, that's because you were homeschooled. And I was like, that's a great thing, because I really don't care where you went.
Right.
I do not care.
Yeah.
But there's some people groups that are fascinating. My wife happens to be loud and proud.
Yeah, because like when I describe to people where I live, I'll just say like I live in Massillon, like I'm right outside of Massillon.
Yeah.
Basically what it is. I got a couple acres and
a
bunch of apple trees and stuff. Like,
yeah.
But I'm not like I'm this far from this or whatever. Or like people really, because sometimes I'll be up north and like people are really, they might not know Massillon that well.
Yeah.
But they'll know like Worcester. So I'm like,
Yes.
so I'm like north of Worcester. Like
Yes.
I'll describe it like that. Like, but that's just because they might not know where I'm at, which is fine.
Yeah.
Whatever. So. Dude, that's funny. I love that you got her to record that. That is priceless.
Well, after those two ladies left, I was like, I don't want them to think that I'm an elitist.
Yeah.
Because immediately that lady's like, they're from Jackson. Almost like, don't touch them. They walk on streets of gold.
They're already saved.
They breathe different air.
Yeah.
They're all saved. They all have wealth. And I'm like, I'm just a salt of the earth kind of a guy.
Yeah.
Even if I was that, I wouldn't want to be identified as that. I just want to be like, oh, this is so-and-so.
Yeah, let's just talk and have a conversation. Yeah. I don't care what part of town you're from.
Yeah.
We're all
So if
people.
you're a listener out there, I'm curious if there's any listeners that are proud, like maybe a proud Minervan. Or
sure, where are you from?
Where are you from?
Tell us about your roots.
Mansfield. Is Mansfield proud? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I didn't grow up in the hood necessarily, but... I mean, I grew up in the city of Massillon, just on an alley, and so it's like this was not fancy. Like we didn't have a ton, but I don't like think bad about those people.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's an interesting way to live your life, but
yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah,
streets of gold.
Yeah, I think before we wrap it up tonight, we've got to discuss a sponsor, and I don't think we have time for both, but we got time for one. So
I don't know. I mean, both sponsors have been very good to us.
We'll buzz through them quick.
Let's say my neck is a little bit just something's off. I can feel it. I've been maybe playing video games too long and hunkered over.
My sons are actually talking about becoming chiropractors. They want to start their own chiropractor office.
Yes,
both of them
we
together.
Need more.
And I was like, you could call it Richardson's Chiropractic Care. And they are loving it. So they're talking about once we get rich being chiropractors, we're gonna buy this and this and this, and like it's funny.
Dude, that's
But
awesome.
anyways, your neck is stiff and you got something out of joint. You need to go on down to Adjust Chiropractic in Canton. It might even be North Canton. I think it might be North Canton.
North Canton.
Gotta specify. So head on down there today, and they're gonna get you cracked up. I've been in there before with shoulders out of joint and ribs out of joint and
have you had your rib
hips.
pop out recently?
Not recently.
Okay.
I've been good. So all kinds of junk going on, but I'm thankful for Dr. B and the staff, and they have an intern, but she's heading back home. So she's proud.
Back to the Amish community.
They called her back. I think she was on Rum Springer for a while, and now she's done with her time. So she's going back to the Pennsylvania Dutch community. The code's still good. Amish Hands get you $10 off your first visit.
Yeah, I think they've extended that out just in kind of honorary tribute to her.
I think they want a new coat within the next few weeks. We got to get one from them. So
yeah.
And then we've always got to mention our good friend at Enjoy Optical. You want to talk about this guy?
Yeah. So he was in town visiting us. 2 weeks ago, and I think the one day my glasses were dirty. I didn't even have to ask. Let me see those glasses.
Nice.
He pulls out a Enjoy Optical cleaning rag.
That's right.
Cleans them all up. He's got soft finger pads.
Nice.
Mine
only the softest.
A little bit rough. I don't want to scratch stuff, but he'll just kind of get a little bit of water and he'll just get this finger and just clean them up.
Nice.
And then just put them right back. How are they
so
looking
it's
now? Service without even me asking.
That's awesome.
Can't get it anywhere else but Enjoy.
Yeah. And something else with the service that he's actually done, which is pretty impressive. So, Edmond, Oklahoma, small little community outside of OKC, and thriving place, really. But the problem is a lot of people can't get there. Yeah. And so he's actually partnered with every Dollar General location nationwide.
Yeah.
You're driving through the hood, turn to your right, there's a Dollar General next to the crack house. Head on in there. And they've got glasses, and there's an Enjoy Optical representative inside the Dollar General.
Let's say I live outside of the Jackson Township limits. Can I go inside of the township limits and find an Enjoy Optical?
There's actually a Dollar General in the Jackson Township. So I was driving through Jackson Township the other day and realized an old movie store rental, the Family Video, on the corner of Wales
Portage and Wales.
Portage,
yes,
has been turned into a Dollar General. So you can actually head in there and get treated with one of the friendly staff members.
Maybe get like an old movie rental? Do they still have them in the back?
I don't know. Dude, who'd have thought? Yeah. When we were kids, Blockbuster, you thought they'd be around forever. Crazy.
Nope. Now they've turned them into Dollar Generals and Enjoy Optical shops.
Yeah. So something that won't be around forever is the deal that Wash Joe Cox is offering his customers right now. So go down to any Dollar General location, you'll get a pair of lenses for 99 cents. And you'll also, at that point, be able to get an additional pair of frames and lenses for another 49 cents. So for $1.48, you're walking out of there.
And I know we were talking with our sponsor recently, and he said he's going to extend that offer as long as we have a Biden-Harris White House. So if that gives you any incentive...
That might be something he'd say, actually.
Of how to vote for the upcoming election.
True. That's
if you
true.
want this $1.48
yes.
to continue on another 4 more years,
right.
You know how to vote.
Yeah. You got it. All right, we'll leave you with that. Oh, all right, guys. Good time, good laughs, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace. Love you guys.